So I'm very happy to introduce Amit Baga. Amit Baga serves as the Senior Vice President of Video Entertainment and AI Platforms at Comcast. Amit manages all the technologies that powers Comcast video products, including the platforms responsible for acquisition, processing, and distributing of video streams, and as well as metadata and content discovery platforms, as well as Comcast Voice Remote. In addition, Amit manages the Applied AI ML Center of Excellence for Comcast that develops algorithms to enhance Comcast products. The work done by Amit's team has been instrumental in Comcast winning 3 technical Emmy Awards: Personalization in 2013, Voice Remote in 2017, and the use of AI ML to generate sports highlights in 2022, last year. I'm very, very happy to introduce Amit.
Okay, thank you, Dan, and thank you to the committee for the conference to have me give this talk. It always is an honor to give a keynote at any conference, and I'm not sure if I'm worthy of it, given my background is not in video, but I'm happy to be here, and so thank you. So I'll be talking about AI ML in video, and I'll start with a quick description of Comcast video ecosystem. Comcast has a broad, deep, robust, and global video ecosystem. It is also a leader in entertainment. We also have a long history of working on AI and machine learning, even before the latest wave that we are in with all the generative AI hype and everything else. And then I'll lead into how we have been applying AI and ML across our video delivery ecosystem, and some of it is work that's been deployed, some of it is work that's in the pipeline, and we can go from there. Just the whole platform that we have at Comcast, it's an end-to-end video distribution platform, or set of collection of platforms that goes from glass to glass. And I'll go through some of the highlights that we have. So the first one is a live and video on-demand platform that operates at a massive scale. It serves IP video, QAM video, Title VI, and OTT. There we process more than 18,000 live channels, most of them with full redundancy. And these channels are acquired from more than 30,000 unique sources. We also have a state-of-the-art, stream stitching system that handles the blackouts. And we do client and server-side ad insertion with self-service programmer addressable support as well. And then finally, we have a trusted computing platform that featuring support for Widevine, PlayReady, and FairPlay DRM with our own device credential provisioning system. In terms of our time-shifted platforms, we support a number of products, including Cloud DVR, Instant VOD, or also known as Live to VOD, pay-per-view, and the Cloud Review Buffer, which enables rewind, pausing, and fast-forward of live content. Our Cloud DVR platform handles more than 30 million daily recordings, which is almost 10 billion recordings a year, and 5.4 million daily playbacks. And contrary to expectations, even with the cord cutting, we are seeing our recording and playback usage trending up because we are replacing a lot of our old set-top boxes in the field that have the hard drives in them with more modern set-top boxes which rely on the cloud for DVR. And also, our DVR platform supports both common copy and unique copy. Unique copy is a requirement, obviously, in the US due to legal reasons. And let me see if there's anything else here. Yep. And then from a CDN and player perspective, we have 2 content delivery networks that we operate with the purpose of IP distribution. One of them is for Title VI content, and the other one is for OTT. The Title 6 peaks at 9 terabits per second, which is about 25% of our capacity, and the OTT CDN peaks at about 4 terabits per second, which is about half our capacity that we have. The CDN is a three-tier CDN that's built on Apache traffic control, and we have a key part of the CDN is an analytics platform, which ingests, which analyzes all the requests and the playouts, and at peak it's storing about 17 million events every second, and it's a pretty key part from an analytics perspective, and it's a key part for the use of AI and ML as well, which we'll get into later in the talk. And from a player perspective, we provide IP video players for all of the supported devices that we have in the field that include RDK-based set-top boxes. RDK is a firmware that we have helped develop along with some other MVPDs. And TVs as well, RDK-enabled TVs, mobile devices, Android and OS, web browsers, Fire TV, Roku, and Apple. In terms of our reach, we power the video delivery platform touches about 75 million devices worldwide. We obviously are a major national MVPD here in the US, but we have white labeled and syndicated our technology in a number of places. There are 3 Canadian operators, Rogers, Shaw, and Videotron, that license our entire tech stack from a video product perspective. So we are supporting most of Canada. We also bought Sky in Europe about 4 years ago, 2018, yeah, so close to 5 years ago. And Sky operates in the Republic of Ireland, UK, Italy, and Germany. And they launched a Sky Glass TV, which is in full IP playback with the linear part integrated right into the experience. And that uses our technology stack from the US. And then we recently announced that Foxtel in Australia is licensing our tech stack, as well as MultiChoice in South Africa. They are the largest MVPDs in each of those countries. And we're in discussions with a whole bunch more, because the whole ecosystem is going through an evolution, and everybody's trying to think of, trying to get to whatever is cutting edge here and whatever can help them, stave off cord cutting, and also enable, OTT streaming and be able to make money there. So with that, let me transition to a little bit to the AI ML that we've been doing at Comcast. As I said, earlier, we've been doing AI ML before the current hype in generative AI, or even the hype before, which came in about 5 to 7 years ago in deep learning. We had acquired a startup in Washington, DC, about 18 years ago right now, as of now. And they had some AI and ML, and we've been kind of building, we have invested in that team, and we currently we started deploying AI ML into a technology in about 2010, so about 13 years ago. And we have extensive deployments of machine learning across applications, workflows, and products. And we also have a multidisciplinary team, right? We have researchers who have PhDs in NLP, in computer vision, and data science. Product people, machine learning engineers, et cetera, right? There's the whole pipeline. And as Dan said, the team, not me, the team has won 3 technical Emmys over the last 10-ish years. Just to give you a feel, I'll go into the meat of the talk in a second, just to give you a feel of where we use AI ML in the company, this slide gives you a feel. There's a lot in here. We use AI ML in about 7 different verticals that span 6 different parts of the company. The first and the largest one, obviously, is entertainment or our video products, where we are using AI and ML for search and discovery, which the search and discovery pieces, we are powering about 2 billion queries a day. Our voice platform, which is probably among the top 10 voice platforms in the world, which powers a voice remote. We do about 14 billion commands a year, about 300 million a week. And our personalization platforms that use AI ML significantly as well. The second one is media analytics, and I'll skip this for now because I'll cover part of this later in our talk, in this talk. The third vertical is for a connected living space, which is basically our home security and cameras. We have more than 1 million deployed cameras in the field, and we have technology running on the edge in the camera itself, and there's a whole bunch that we do on the cloud. So we do motion detection in the camera, and then we have clips that we upload to the cloud, and we allow our users to filter the clips by people, pets, vehicles, etc., in the cloud. The third one is customer experience, where we're using our NLP platforms to help customers when they come into our app, they can ask any question, and we understand the intent and take them to self-help pages. And we've been able to cut down our call volume by about 30% with this platform. On the networking side, we do a lot of, we look at the interference that we're getting in our coax cables a few times a day, and we adjust the modulation for each of the channels in the coax based on machine learning. In cybersecurity, we look at anomalous call patterns all the time. And then finally, in the sales and marketing space, we have a next best action recommendation engine. So when a customer calls in, we look at their packages, and we support our agents by providing them with a recommendation in case, like to upsell them, that a different package might be more useful, or if they're looking to cancel, when we might want to retain them with a lower priced package, and that's done again using machine learning. So just to transition it to the third part of the talk, how do we use AI and ML in our video ecosystem? Right, the video ecosystem, is very conducive to the use of AI and ML. It is, there are workflows in here, and those workflows are fairly standard, which makes it, and involve transformations of the video. So it makes it particularly conducive for the app, for AI and ML applications. So, the top part of the slide I showed earlier, our video ecosystem, we go glass to glass. So from capture, where content is captured and pre-processed for delivery, to editing for delivery and storage, origination of content as a live stream or a channel, acquisition by us as a distribution, or as an operator, and other operators as well. Transforming the content that comes through and transcoding it for delivery to different devices and mediums, and then conditioning it for storage and delivery, storing it for playback, delivering it through our CDNs and satellites and other channels as well, and then finally the playback on a growing set of hardware and software devices. So let's go through each one of them in a little bit more detail and see how AI and ML can really help here. Excuse me. So the first one is on the capture side. AI ML on the edge is becoming a lot more ubiquitous. There's been a lot of improvements in the silicon on edge devices, and also the models are becoming a lot more efficient, which allows us to embed basic scene understanding at the edge. And not as cameras are becoming more ubiquitous, and with new, if you watched ESPN, they have cams on spectators, etc. There's a lot of content that's coming through, and not everything can be processed in the cloud. So this edge computing is really conducive for machine learning. For example, for our cameras, as I said, we have 1 million cameras, or more than 1 million out in the field and growing. And we can't process every second of the video in the cloud. It's just too expensive. Even it's feasible, but it's not. It's prohibitively expensive. Where it doesn't make sense from a business standpoint. So we are forced to embed machine learning algorithms on the edge itself. So we do motion detection, as I said earlier, on the camera. We also do package detection on the camera, like alerting people when packages have been delivered. And we want to get to facial recognition as well when you detect a face that you've not seen before in the house, and doing that on the edge as well. Moving on to the editing part, this is something that all content producers do, right? Especially the technical editing. And content is produced with additional elements that are inserted, like slugs or sequence of black frames, that are used as markers, bars and tones. And what we're doing is we're using AI and machine learning models to detect the variance of each of these elements, so that our editors are not looking for these, right? We automatically identify these, and that frees up our editors to focus on the more valuable parts of the editing process. On the origination side, we originate our own content, but we also have a business which licenses our technology, and we originate content for a number of providers in the US. And so about 4 years ago, we developed a tool called Overwatch, which is an AI-assisted master control operations tool. Our team here, actually in Dry Creek, south of here, about 30 miles south of downtown Denver, they had 100 editors, or slightly less than 100 editors, sitting and watching that video wall that you see on this, with fingers on the button, right? They were looking for 35-ish signals, and in the videos that were coming through, and if they detected an error, they would go fix it. It's a problem ripe for automation, and so we built a machine learning-based system that tracked these 35 signals, and we basically reduce the need for that many editors by about 2/3, and right now we do anomaly detection, right? If the signal is we detect an anomaly in the signal, we'll raise an alarm, and so the few editors that are there, they go in and then triage the alarm and go fix the error. Much smarter way of doing things, and also a much more consistent way, because when they had that many editors, their quality was dependent on the quality of the editor, and sometimes you'd miss it. Algorithms, the one thing is that they're consistently right or consistently wrong, right? It's not inconsistent in any way. And this one, the timing of this worked out really well as well. We deployed this, a few months prior to the lockdown and the pandemic starting, and so it really helped, where people could look at these alarms the editors could look at these alarms sitting at home rather than coming into the office in the middle of a lockdown. The next one here is encoding. We've been experimenting with content adaptive video bitrate selection for the last 5-ish years. We built a model to select the optimal bitrate, for a desired video quality that achieved about 95% accuracy and was able to reduce operational costs by about 90%, right? And it also frees up or makes a more efficient use of available network bandwidth. And this is really important as demand for higher resolution and higher fidelity content becomes more and more ubiquitous. This is something we've experimented with and trying to figure out how to get this into our main work streams. Okay. Moving on to conditioning, this has been an area that has really exploded for us in terms of being able to monetize the video. And we analyze pretty much every second of the video, lots of video streams, and we are looking at generating a lot of metadata, scene-level metadata for the video, which we then tie into IAB tags, which is a standard in the advertising space, and which makes the ads, so that we can target the ads to what was happening in the video at that moment, makes it much more targeted. Moving on to the storage piece, we are doing a lot of, in the US, we can't use a lot of this because of the unique copy legal requirement. But in Europe, we are doing a lot of duplicate detection or near duplicate detection which allows us to more efficiently store content. And then we also launched a feature here in the US called, auto extend for the DVR. So, if a sports game is going over, our DVRs often, because they're tied into the guide, and the guide will cut it off the recording at the scheduled time. We actually look at the video, look at metadata coming in about the sports game, and we'll auto extend DVR for you over here. And also for the programs that follow the sports game, if you're not a sports lover and you want to watch the program, or if you have scheduled a DVR recording for the program after a sports game, a lot of times, because the start of the program is delayed, if a game goes over, we automatically adjust that beginning as well. So we've been doing that for about 5 to 7 years here in the US. Moving on to the delivery aspect, as I mentioned, for our CDN, we have this analytics platform which ingests, at peak about 17 million events per second. Now we're really starting to exploit, and use the 17 million events and apply machine learning there, to look at, to look at impairment in our network paths, looking at what best caches to use for a particular customer, and also looking at anomalous access patterns, which can indicate defects in the player stack or piracy in the video content. And this is an area that we really feel can really deliver a lot of value for our CDN platforms. And then on the final piece is on the playout side, and this is where we have been working on for a while. And we have a bunch of features launched across the Comcast Corporation, whether it's here or with NBC as part of Peacock, or in Europe. We do things like Smart Resume. If you DVR content here in the US, and at least in primetime content, most people DVR it and want to fast forward through ads. The biggest pain point faced by our customers is that you often overshoot the end of the ad pod, and it's very disruptive to the viewing experience, because you have to rewind and our stats showed that only 8% of humans actually were able to get the end of the ad pod correct after starting to fast forward through the ads. So Smart Resume is a product where if the user initiates fast forwarding through an ad pod, we will auto resume playback at the end of the ad pod. It's a much loved feature, at least for the people who still DVR content. Sports highlights, which in the US, again, we have plenty of restrictions But if you DVR an NFL game or English Premier League game here, and if you're a Comcast customer, we will automatically identify the key plays of the game, and you can go to the next play, using the time bar when you start playing your DVR recordings. In Europe, the restrictions the legal restrictions are far less. So we do automatic catch-up. Like if you join in the middle of a game for a soccer game, cricket, F1, or golf, we will give you the highlights. We give you the option of catching up on the highlights up to that point of the game. Peacock is using it as well as part of EPL. Intro skip, which is in Europe, where that's everybody knows that if you use Netflix or Amazon Prime. We are doing that fully automated, and then binge watching with credit rolls, again launched in Europe and Sky. So how do we do this? How do we do the media analytics or the machine learning for our ecosystem? We have this platform called Media Analytics Framework, MAF, and it's not to be confused with VMAF, which doesn't make sense to me, but for this audience, I'm sure it means something. As I said, I'm not a video processing person, but this MAF platform is one that we've invested in over the last 7, 8 years. And the way MAF works is that it ingests a stream, whether it's live or it could come in as an on-demand a file. We split the stream up into the audio, visual, and captions, and then we do a lot of analytics on each one of those streams. We have a bunch of decoders built for each of those streams. So we have audio decoders, visual decoders, and caption decoders, which are looking at different signals. And then the beauty of the decoders is, think of it as a recipe, right? You have the ingredients, and you want to make a new dish, you have the ingredients. These are the ingredients. And anytime we want to build a new application, we look at the decoders we have and train our models using the existing decoders. We may have to add a few decoders, new decoders for the application that we are thinking of. But the platform is really extensible in a really easy manner. We are analyzing about 15 billion frames every single day with this platform. And this platform works in multiple dimensions, right? From the frame level to short boundary, and then to more higher levels in the video. And then let me. And so here are some examples of the types of decoders we have, and the types of analytics that we do with the platform. So let me, and this platform has also been commercialized by our commercial arm, the Comcast Technology Solutions team. It's called Video AI. It's generated a lot of interest in the media industry. It's a software as a service offering that's available to our customers and partners. And we're working with a number of media providers already using this platform for their needs. And then, and the platform won, 4 awards, including a technical Emmy that we just won last year, and an NAB Product of the Year award. So let me conclude by, there's no talk complete these days without the mention of generative AI, with the buzz that exists in the industry. Yes, we are looking at generative AI in a big way as well. It's mostly in the language space because that's where most of the applications are. But we're also looking at generative AI in the media space as well. And here are some of the examples where we think generative AI can come in and make a huge difference, right? Automatic captioning for accessibility needs, creating visual descriptive tracks for visually impaired people, creating enriched synopses for better search and discovery, in-content brand placement, and then also it can be used to really improve existing solutions like a contextual ad that we already have. So with that, thank you for listening. Hopefully this was useful, and we have time for questions.
Thank you very much, Amit. So please, questions. You have a mic here, also in my hand, so. Any questions?
For the live content that you ingest, do you receive that as already produced single stream video, or are you doing some type of production on your facilities as well?
It's both. For the Comcast video products, we get it already produced, but as I said, we have a business solutions arm like Comcast Technology Solutions, which offers services to a lot of media providers, and they actually do origination of a number of channels here, actually in Dry Creek, in one of the suburbs here, and they originate live channels for a bunch of media providers.
And so you're running that as a remote video production where the producers are in a central facility,
yes,
and you're bringing the content remotely. Okay.
Yep.
And do you use SMPTE ST2110 to carry? Do you use SMPTE ST2110 to carry the traffic, the camera traffic?
I'm not sure what that means, but
Okay. That's a video question, so sorry.
Yeah. So
no problem.
I'm sure they do whatever is the state of the art, because they have to process the video. They have to then uplink it to the satellites and or distribute it through the fiber networks.
Okay, great. Thank you.
More questions, please? Still have a couple of minutes. Okay, so in case there is no questions, I would like to thank you very much. Very interesting keynote.
Thank you.